What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I've got my guy Jzach from Jzach in the red zone here. We're doing something different today. We're doing our top five prospects in the NFL draft. Today we're starting off with the quarterback position, pretty much the most popular position in football. So we're going to start off with that. At the end of this video, make sure you guys leave a comment in the comment section below what position you guys want us to do next, and whoever has the most comments will definitely do that. So pretty much we're gonna give our top fives. We both have our individual top fives, and we'll go from there. We'll discuss our top fives from there. So Jzach, if you want to introduce yourself, my friend.
Thank you. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jzach from Jzach in the Red Zone. Channel is primarily an NFL channel. I'm a Giants fan, so anytime big Giants news drops, I will upload about it. And Kid Blue said, whoever gets the most comments, that's what we'll do. I think he meant whatever comment gets the most likes, that's what position we'll do next. Yeah. So basically, we're just going to give our top 5 QBs. I'm going to go first, I guess. Kid Blue, I think you want me to go first here. So there's three QBs I want to give a shout out to who did not make my top 5 list. That's going to be Easton Stick from North Dakota, KJ Costello from Stanford, and Ryan Finley. I forgot his college. Whatever. But those are my three. NC State, yes, thank you. Those are my three honorable mentions who did not make my top 5. So I'm going to go through my top 5 quick with no reasons, and then Kid Blue's going to do his, and then we'll go over our reasonings for these guys' placements. So at number 5, I have Drew Lock from Missouri. And then right after Drew Lock, I have Daniel Jones out of Duke. Then I have Will Grier from Western Virginia. Then I have Dwayne Haskins. And then I have Easton Stick. No, I'm kidding. It's Kyler Murray. Easton Stick. It's Kyler Murray at number 1. It's Tyree Jackson. It's low-key Josh Rosen. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into Kid Blue's top 5 now.
All right, so my top 5 guys, like I said, I want to give like what Jzach did. I want to give my honorable mentions. I don't have much honorable mentions because I'm really not big fans of these quarterbacks in this draft here. But I do have Ryan Finley here. Won't get too much into him, but I do have Ryan Finley there. And I do have, just because I'm a Boise State fan, I do have Brett Rippon in there.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I like Brett Rippon, man. I've been watching him for like 3 or 4 years now.
Come on now.
I like him, but is he really going to do anything in the NFL? No, but I just want to throw his name out there. Shout out to Brett Rippon. But anyway, so here are my top 5 guys. Pretty much almost in agreement with Jzach here, besides a flip-flop in the middle of the top 5. But I do have Drew Lock at 5. A lot of people would disagree with us, but we definitely think Drew Lock is 5. Then at 4, I've got Will Grier.
Boo.
At 3, I've got Daniel Jones. At 2, I have Dwayne Haskins. And at 1, by himself, I have Kyler Murray. So, I don't know do you want to go first or I go first in explaining?
I guess I can go first for mine, and then we can probably talk about why we agree. So for my top 5, for my number 5, I do have Drew Lock, and I went ahead and I had a little bullet point for you guys. I have a list of his strengths and a list of his weaknesses, and then kind of my final thoughts on Drew Lock. So, the first thing I'll go over is Drew Lock. His strengths, I think, is obviously his arm strength. I don't think anybody goes, you know what, that guy doesn't throw the ball far enough. Like, I don't know anybody who says that about Drew Lock. Drew Lock probably has the strongest arm in this QB class. And that's, in my personal opinion, that arm alone is the only reason why people are really eyeballing Drew Lock so much.
Thank you.
Because he can throw the ball hard and fast, and people are like, did you see how hard he threw that ball? It's like, this isn't baseball, dude. Nobody cares how hard you can throw the football or how far you can throw it. Like, so that's kind of his strength. And then I think every so often, this is something really cool with Drew Lock, and this is the reason why I think he's got phenomenal arm talent. Keyword on the word talent, key on talent there. Is every once in a while when I'm watching Drew Lock's tape, he makes this every once in a while, he'll just throw one ball that you'll just kind of go, wow, like, wow, that's a good throw. Every once in a while, like, wow, if he could do that like at least every other throw or at least once a drive, this guy would be something special. Another thing I like about Drew Lock is he does really good back shoulder fade throws. If you ever see him through one of those streaks, he'll just kind of boom, and that receiver turns around and the ball is right where it needs to be. I honestly think that's his best throw. Another thing is he's not really going to win in a foot race, but he's mobile just enough to get out of the pocket. You know what I mean? So like he's not going to run down the sideline like Kyler Murray and score, but he'll evade a few open, people come in who can a few unblocked blitzers. He can evade 1 or 2 of those and just keep moving, run to the sideline to the hashes and maybe make a decent throw. but he's not going to win a foot race. You know, if you want to go ahead and go with your strengths now, what you think about Drew Lock, or
here's the biggest thing about Drew Lock, and the first film I watched of Drew Lock, this is back a few months ago when I'm just getting into the prospects for this NFL draft. The first film, I can't remember who he played, but the first film I watched, I was like, damn, Drew Lock is good, just because he made those throws that you were like, damn, that was a good throw. Some good deep throws and things like that. He's a natural thrower of the football. That's something you got to give to. The way the ball comes out of his hand is very nice, very smooth. But the biggest problem with Drew Lock is inconsistency. He's not able to maintain that quarterback play. The same player that you're like, wow, he just threw that 60-yard bomb, and then he's throwing balls. You could see it on film. You know he's going to throw that way. He's staring down as the receiver, and you're like, why would you do that, Drew? Why? Don't do it. Why would you do that? So that's definitely Drew Lock's big problem there. I have a QB comp to Matt Stafford. Do I think he's a talented thrower like Matt Stafford? No. But Matt Stafford is a guy with a huge arm, somewhat decent mobility. But another big knock on Matt Stafford is his inconsistency as well. So that's why I had him with Matt Stafford. But we'll get on right now to number 4. You want to go first?
My weaknesses. I'm going over my weaknesses.
Oh, your weaknesses.
Yeah, I haven't really touched over. So my problems with Drew Lock is, my thing about Drew Lock is he's got almost double the amount of weaknesses as he does strengths. I mean, I've written down 8 things from here, and I wrote down he has really poor accuracy on pretty much all aspects of the field, whether it be on slants or go routes. He's, like you said, he's wildly inconsistent. He'll have times where he just, like you said earlier, where everything, he looks good, but then he'll just make some awful decision that makes you go, what were you thinking? Like, what were you thinking? Like, it just makes him, like, he's just so random, the guy. It's like he's got a D6 in his hand and just rolls it. He's like, odd number, got to throw a bad pass. Even number, here we go. You know, he's just like, he just yanks it, you know. And he's also really slow at going through his progressions. If you see Drew Lock, sometimes people are like, oh, you know, he doesn't go through his progressions. Like, no, he's just going really slow. He's like one Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Okay, next receiver, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Coach, where'd I throw the ball? 1 Mississippi. You know, like, he also has like I said, he's got those sporadic flashes of spot on throws, and then others that are just really late in terms of timing. For instance, like I said, on his back shoulder throws, he always throws the ball. I mean, as soon as that receiver turns around, the ball's here. But then he'll have other balls where he'll throw it. I mean, well, the receiver turns around, he's open, and he doesn't throw the ball until the receiver's covered. Like, he waits for the receiver to get covered before he throws the ball. You know, like, he's trying to make a highlight film or something, you know? And another problem I have with Drew Lock is he's just woefully bad under pressure. I mean, I've given Haskins a lot of shit for being bad under pressure, but Drew Lock is on another level of bad under pressure. You know,
Jay Cutler-like, man. Jay
Cutler. He also tends to drift away from the line of scrimmage a lot, which I don't necessarily like. I don't know why he does it. I think it's just a lack of footwork. I think he needs some better footwork mechanics. He also throws under pressure. His throwing under pressure, like, it's hard to explain. Like, he throws, like, it's weird. He makes himself throw under pressure when he doesn't need to. Like, it's hard to explain. I've seen him, the amount of times I've seen him be in a clean pocket, step up into pressure, and then throw the ball. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, you were just clean, and then you stepped up into a guy and was like, I'm going to throw the ball with your hand on my face because I'm just that good. I don't get it, you know? Like, and he's also very unbalanced a lot when he throws the ball. But the crazy part is sometimes he throws the ball better unbalanced than he does when his feet are set. That's the thing about Drew Lock I just don't get.
Just like Josh Allen from last year. Josh Allen was the same way. This guy would throw lasers on the run, but in the pocket, they were just...
It's just gone.
Ducks. Absolute ducks.
So, my final thoughts on Drew Lock, man, is like, I think he has the most potential out of any quarterback in this year's class, but he has the lowest floor. Like, but his potential is higher than anybody else in terms of arm talent, at least in my personal opinion. Just because he has the arm strength kind of gives him that arm potential. And like I said, every once in a while, he'll just make a throw that just blows your mind. He'll make like a Kyler Murray-esque kind of throw or Baker Mayfield kind of throw, and you're just like, where the hell did that come from? You know, I just don't get it. So I have my NFL comp for him. It's actually Paxton Lynch, who my NFL comp for Paxton Lynch is because, first off, they both had big arms, big bodies. They were both kind of bad. It's also because I think his career is going to be very similar to Paxton Lynch's.
Yeah, I can see it
similar. So if you guys are looking for some tape to watch on these guys yourselves, I don't think Kid Blue took any down, but I have two games I think you guys should go watch. His best film, in my personal opinion, if you really want to see Drew Lock's talent, you go watch the Purdue game. And if you want to see his floor, go watch the Auburn game. So if you guys want to go on YouTube, type in Drew Lock versus Purdue, Drew Lock versus Auburn, you can find some free tape to watch on them there.
I'll do that next time. I'll put next video we do, I'll put my best and worst film.
Sweet.
Good idea.
So number 4 is me, correct? I think. So I'm going to go. So my 4th quarterback is Daniel Jones, as you guys already know. So my thing with Daniel Jones, I'll go ahead and give my strengths and strengths at the moment. So we'll go strength, and then weaknesses. We'll do that. Right. Strengths with Daniel Jones, not a lot, but he's got a lot less weaknesses than Drew Lock, is kind of why I have him above him. One thing I do like about Daniel Jones, he's very quick in the pocket, and I don't mean through his reads. I mean, he's actually a lot quicker and mobile in the pocket than you would think for a guy who's so big. Yeah, he's got good footwork in the pocket. He's quick at maneuvering the pocket, which is why I like him. He's also got the size, which I still think is highly overrated. He's also I think he's kind of like a Sam Darnold in a way where he throws his best ball on the run. In my personal opinion, when it comes to Drew Lock, I think that's kind of where he's at his best. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't have a lot to say about Drew Lock in terms of positives. I mean, not Drew Lock. In terms of Daniel Jones, I don't have a lot to say about him, but I just have a lot less weaknesses for him. That's why he's higher. You know, so I mean, you can go ahead and go next. Whatever you think is so good about Daniel Jones.
What I like about Daniel Jones, I got him at 3. I literally just have him as 3 for potential. Yeah. That's pretty much why I have him at 3. He's got everything you want. You got the size, decent arm strength. Is not great, but you can work with that. I do like his ability of athleticism at his size. Yeah. You know, you look at a guy like Daniel Jones, he doesn't look like he can move. But if you watch him on film, he could move. He could evade pass rush. He can get out the pocket. Matter of him being a natural thrower, that's definitely something he needs to work on. He does have 1 year of pro style system under his belt, which is a good thing there, what he did last year. But just out of potential, do I really like Daniel Jones? Every time I watch his film, he kind of grows on me just a little bit more. Yeah. So yeah,
I think Daniel Jones just does a decent amount right. I think it's why he doesn't have a lot of horrible tape. I think it's the thing about Daniel Jones. Not a lot of tape, not a lot of bad tape. So some of my weaknesses with Daniel Jones, I think he's really uncomfortable under pressure as well. He seems to duck a lot. Like if you ever watch he ducks a lot. You ever see this tape? He was kind of like, huh! I'm like.
He's like, what are you doing? Coming to the side, and he's like, get down.
He's like, the sky is lava, and just like, you know what I mean? I don't get the guy. So that's kind of my thing with Daniel Jones. I don't know why he ducks so much, but he does it a lot. He also likes to throw, when he's under pressure, he likes to throw off balance instead of just setting his feet and taking the hit, which I know is a hard thing to do. Like, you know, I'm sitting here judging him for that, but if I saw, you know, a 6'5", 240-pound, 270-pound guy sprinting at me like I just stole his lunch money, you know, I might throw the ball a little under pressure as well. Yeah, to be honest,
give you a mean groan as he's coming at you, man. You gotta duck.
You're sitting there like, I should get on the floor. But another thing is, I think he's kind of a system quarterback at Duke. I feel like a lot of these quarterbacks could have succeeded in the pro style offense they had going on there at Duke. A lot of quick passes, kind of similar to the whole offense they run over there at Ohio State with Dwayne Haskins. You know, also, once again, you gotta see that lots of the weaknesses I have with these quarterbacks are kind of similar. It's because I think these weaknesses are really important things, and it's kind of the fact that he doesn't go through progressions very well. He's not as slow as Drew Lock, I'll tell you that much, but still doesn't go through them very well. He doesn't throw the ball well past 20 yards is his thing. Like,
I've noticed that.
You ask him to throw within the 20-yard line.
I don't know if that's his receivers, but
I think it's just him. He's just very inaccurate anything from mid to long range. Like, you ask Daniel Jones to throw anything within 20 yards, and he's like, I got it. You know, it's like, hey man, we need you to throw the 22, and he's like, ooh,
you're pushing it.
He's like, you're pushing it. He's like, I can maybe do the 21, but you're pushing it. You know? So go ahead with whatever you think your weaknesses are. Why? What limited him to number 3? Boo. By the way, on your top 5.
The thing is with Daniel Jones is that he second guesses himself way too much. Yeah. I mean, too many times do you see him? He's overlooking his receivers. He doesn't go through his progressions too much. He kind of stares down a receiver too much. He kind of like wants his receiver, that one receiver, to be open. He'll pump fake like 3 times and just allow the edge rushers to come get him. And too many times have I seen him. There was a film I was watching yesterday, just recapping my knowledge on him. There was like 5 separate times in the past 5 minutes of film that I seen him do that. Just overlook his receiver, second guess himself, doesn't know when to throw it, and finds himself getting sacked. So that's a big problem with Daniel Jones. Definitely needs to get better at that. That can be coached up, but that still can be a problem in the NFL moving forward. But
exactly.
You know, he definitely has the potential that I like. So
yeah. So my final thoughts on him is he's got good intangibles. He just really needs to clean up the arm. I think this Daniel Jones thing is he just needs. I think he needs more practice. I think he could have done good with more time in college. Definitely not a day one starter. Needs to sit. He needs to sit.
Yes,
at the very least
like a Josh Allen. People don't compare him to Josh Allen, but I say he's Josh Allen. Like, he has so much potential. He's just not really ready yet. You know.
I mean, did you have an NFL comp for him? Did you want me to give mine?
Oh, I had Kirk Cousins was my NFL.
Kirk Cousins. That's not bad. I have Ryan Tannehill for him just because I think their mobile-ish is the same. They're kind of similarly mobile. So my best film for him, so I know you didn't have any, so I'll give my best film for you guys if you want to see it, is Pittsburgh. And my worst film for Daniel Jones is his Virginia tape. I think that one's pretty poor.
Clemson was pretty bad too.
Clemson was also pretty. That was right up there. I almost said Clemson. I almost did, but I think Virginia, he missed a lot of more key things, and I wish he didn't. So we're going to jump into number 3 is Will Grier out of West Virginia. I really like Will Grier. He's one of my favorite. He's probably my second favorite quarterback in this year's class. I don't mean he's the second best. My second favorite. So let's go straight away into the things I love about Will Grier. Is he's a great leader. He kind of reminds me of Baker Mayfield in terms of how he leads his team. If you go and watch some interviews or you listen to what people are saying about Will Grier, the first thing they mention about Will Grier is how much of a leader he is, how he can rally the troops. His teammates love the guy. So that kind of reminds me of Baker Mayfield. Another thing is, which is crazy because Will Grier, one of his weaknesses for me is arm strength, which I still don't even think is that big of a deal, but he's, in my opinion, the best deep ball thrower in this class.
Accurate.
He was so accurate with the deep ball. I think Will Grier is like the exact, I think he shows why arm strength is overrated because he can make those deep balls, but nobody mentions how great Will Grier's arm strength is. Nobody does. But he makes those balls. He makes them right on stride. He's got phenomenal touch as well. He knows exactly when to float the ball and just drop it in the bucket. He's very good. He's just, honestly, his accuracy overall, he's definitely one of the more accurate quarterbacks in this year's class. Back when Herbert was still number 1 and nobody was even talking about Dwayne Haskins, there was a reason why people thought Will Grier was the second best quarterback in this year's class. And I feel like he's only made a more aggressive statement as to why he shouldn't be slept on. Like I said, very accurate. He's got really good anticipation. Great anticipation throws. He's got really good decision making. Is anything I like about Will Grier. Hardly ever do you see Will Grier. I said Grier. Hardly ever do you see Will Grier make a throw that makes you just like, what was he doing? Why would he even throw that ball? Not a lot of bad throws from Will Grier. Is kind of why I like him. All right, you can go ahead and go into your strengths with him if you want.
Will Grier probably is the second best thrower besides Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray is the best thrower in this draft, but Will Grier is right there. I mean, Will Grier can make any throw you really want him to make. The deep throws, I mean, Gary Jennings and David Sills, they'll be going up the field. They have probably an inch or two of space, and Will Grier, no problem, will hit him right on target.
Beautiful ball.
I mean, it helps that he has Gary Jennings and he has David Sills, some pretty decently wide receivers, but Will Grier does it all himself as well. Great accuracy down the field. I like his footwork. You know what? The more I'm thinking about this right now, I'm liking Will Grier more.
Thank you.
Because his film to me just jumps out. Like he's another guy, just like Drew Lock, just a natural thrower of the football. I love the way he throws the ball. Yeah. And I really don't have any. As far as weaknesses, arm strength is definitely probably my biggest knock on him. Maybe he's a little undersized. I mean, that's pretty much it. But undersized is much overrated. But if you want to say undersized, you can. But my biggest knock on him is arm strength.
I have quite a few. I have quite a few for him. Arm strength is one, but then again, I don't really care about that. I just wrote it down because I needed a number. He does, and I did say he had good anticipation, so that was one of his strengths. But it's also one of his weaknesses. He will make a pretty He does lack anticipation sometimes in his throws, but when it's there, it's good. It's very good, solid. He'll also hold the ball under pressure sometimes and take some unnecessary sacks instead of trying to use his mobility to get out. I mean, he did run a very slow 40. He's not very fast, but he's mobile enough to escape and to avoid sacks more than he tries. Like with his mobility, I want to see him try to avoid them more, but he tends to just take unnecessary sacks and hold the ball, kind of like Eli Manning did last year with the Giants. He's also has a very slow and odd throwing motion. He's got like a really like crank,
catapult motion.
He's like, whoa,
And
I typically
his balls are like very archy.
Like I typically not to give to knock on a quarterback for that, but that is something I've seen for him. It's not really the throwing motion I care about. It's the speed of it, and it is quite slow sometimes. And with a slow throwing motion like that, he can take a hit when he shouldn't have to. You know, I mean, the football is a game of inches, a game of seconds. You know, and sometimes that extra second it could take to get the ball out of your hands could mean the difference between completing the pass and not completing the pass. You know, he's primarily a shotgun passer. Doesn't take a lot of balls under snap. Doesn't bother me too much though. It's just something that I know a lot of people will have negatives on him for. For my final thoughts is he's very versatile, but he also needs to sit for a year. I think Will Grier could be better than Dwayne Haskins. I really do. Like, if Dwayne Haskins starts year 1, Will Grier gets to sit a year, and then year 2 they both come out. I think Will Grier could actually put up better numbers than Dwayne Haskins could. So that's one thing about Will Grier. But at the moment, if I had to pick between one of them right now, unfortunately, I'm picking Dwayne Haskins. But I do think Will Grier has a little bit more talent than he does in terms of how good I think they could possibly be at the next level. My NFL comp for him is Andy Dalton. I don't know what yours was.
I put like a less athletic Marcus Mariota.
I like that. No, that's a good comp though. That's a good comp.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a good comp. If you just complete the throwing, I think that's a decent comp. The best film, if you want to see Will Grier, what I'm talking about, go watch his Baylor tape. Pretty bad tape on Will Grier is his Oklahoma State tape. That's the tape I recommend to watch if you want to see how negative he can get. So, into number 2, and I think if you could tell, my least favorite quarterback. Honestly, I don't even dislike this Dwayne Haskins. I don't even dislike him. I just dislike his fans and the Giants fans who are like so crazy and hell-bent about how great he is. Like, so I had nothing against Dwayne Haskins himself. It's just his fans. But it's Dwayne Haskins, number 2 quarterback out of Ohio State. We'll go right into it. Dwayne Haskins, I'm going to give all his positives. People know I'm not a Dwayne Haskins hater. All right, I can acknowledge talent. He's very good football IQ, probably the best in the class. Definitely the smartest quarterback in this class in terms of football IQ. He also goes his progressions very well, which is very important. It's something I hold. It's something I rank very. It's something I think is very, very valuable when scouting a quarterback is how well do they go through progressions. It's not even just the speed. It's how well they go through them. Can he look at a guy before he gets wide open and knows he's going to get open? You know, or can he look at him and be like, you know what, he's open now, but I see that safety coming over. Let's go to the next guy. Or does he know when to take a check down? And Dwayne Haskins take 99%. But, you know, he knows when to take a check down. I'll give you that.
Gotta throw a shot in there.
I had to throw it in. But he's also got great anticipation, actually. Great anticipation on his throws. He throws that ball as soon as that receiver breaks on his slant. As soon as he breaks on the screen. As soon as he breaks on the dig route. As soon as he breaks on the curl. I think you guys are noticing the pattern I'm taking here. But when he does throw with really good anticipation, and he's got great arm talent. He really does. If we're talking just talent alone, probably the third highest in the class. I would give them right behind Drew Lock, Kyler Murray, and then Dwayne Haskins. But that's nothing negative. He does have very good arm talent. He has good to short intermediate accuracy, and I think he's got I think he has the best short accuracy in the class. One of the best intermediate accuracy, probably from the 25 to the 35 yard range. He also reads defenses very well. The amount of times I've seen him audible out of an offense because he recognized the defense he was looking at, I was pretty impressed with that a lot. And he also climbs the pocket fairly decently. He does know when to step up. He's pretty decent at feeling pressure coming off the backside, whether that's his coach telling him in the earpiece, like, hey, somebody's coming, take a step forward, or if it's just him noticing things. He does climb the pocket fairly decently. So those are some positives I will give to Dwayne Haskins, and why I think if he can really work on these negatives, I think he could be a very good quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, but I'll get to my negatives after this.
Yeah, but Dwayne Haskins, man. One thing I really do like about Dwayne Haskins, you mentioned already, he knows how to climb the pocket and things like that because he's a pure pocket passer. He doesn't have the athleticism, so he's forced to stay in the pocket. He's forced to recognize if there's somebody coming on his backside, when he needs to climb the pocket, when he needs to make those NFL-type throws. Now, we can knock Dwayne Haskins on his, throwing the ball under pressure and things like that, but one thing I have seen him do a couple of times is make the throws that I really want him to make in, sticking in the pocket, staying tough, getting hit as he throws, and completing the pass. That's something I want to see in the NFL. Too many times, especially, it's becoming a trend now with these college quarterbacks. They're all athletic, so they just decide to, get out the pocket and make a throw there. But in the NFL, it's so much more different. I want to be able to see you to stay in the pocket, get gritty, wait, stay in the pocket, make that throw, get hit as you throw, stay tough and things like that. He definitely has that in him. Another thing I said, I agree with you. Short to medium accuracy is fantastic. It's great. amazing IQ. You know, we've seen it on television already. He's already with Steve Mariucci and a couple other guys. He has an amazing IQ. Not to say that any of these quarterbacks don't, but he's already proven that he has that great IQ, and that's something you need in the NFL because you're going to be, you know, the coaches are going to be, you know, right behind you all the time, making those calls for you and telling you what to do all the time in the NFL like they do in college. So that's something I really like about Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, definitely, definitely. You mentioned the under pressure thing. Oh man, that's part of my weakness. He's horrible under pressure. I mean, just it's horrible.
Kind of crumbles a lot.
He crumbles. I think it's actually something I said in my mock draft to Dwayne Haskins, that he crumbles under pressure. He goes from looking like a quarterback who is worth a first-round pick to somebody who I wouldn't draft in the second, maybe in the third round when he's under pressure. And that's something that, and the reason why it's like, that's a huge knock for me on Dwayne Haskins. That's one of the big reasons why I don't want him. It's one of the main reasons, actually, is because if you can't throw under pressure, you're not going to success in the NFL. Even if you're sitting behind the Green Bay Packers offensive line, you still need to be at least decent under pressure, because I don't care how good your offensive line is, and the Packers have the best pass blocking in the offensive line in the league last year, you're still going to face pressure every once in a while, you know, and that's something that you need to be able to work through, and I think he didn't get better at it throughout the season, at least in my personal opinion from the tape I saw. He very much did progress from week to week. That was something that was very impressive to see how quick he got, like how quick he progressed. But the throwing the ball under pressure never really got better when I saw it. It didn't get worse. It just stayed horrible. You know, it didn't get better at all. He's also horrible deep ball accuracy. I mean, wow. But it's also probably because he only threw like deep like 2% of the time. Yeah. Everything else, that's one of my things. He's also, his decision making dips badly under pressure as well. It's kind of another under pressure thing. His decision making is very good, but as soon as he gets some hands in his face, it just gets bad. It gets really bad. He'll throw into coverage. You know, he also lacks any wiggle in the pocket. You know, it's probably,
he has very, very minimal athleticism.
It probably has to do with his athleticism, which I don't think is a huge deal, but the way the NFL is becoming, these pass rushers are getting more and more athletic as well. I think our quarterbacks need to get more athletic as well. That's not why I have Kyler Murray above him, and you guys hear about that when we get to Kyler Murray. But that's kind of my thing about that is also I think he benefited. Everybody's like, oh, he threw 50 touchdowns, and like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
It's college.
Like,
who doesn't?
It's college, right? It's not that. It's just if you go back and watch those games, hardly ever does Dwayne Haskins make those big time throws. A lot of his yards and his numbers came from after the catch. And then I know in one live stream, people are like, oh, you're going to dog him for having talent around him. Like, no, I'm going to dog his numbers because they're inflated. Not his talent. I'm going to dog his numbers. I think they were very inflated with a lot of yards. They ran a lot of bubble screens over there in Ohio State. Like I said, it's not a knock on him, but I think people who tried to like to bring up his numbers and try to be like, this is why he's so good. It's like, I can argue about his numbers all day. You know, but if you want to talk about his talent, we can. But if you want to go ahead and get into your weaknesses with Dwayne Haskins, it's fine with me.
All right, but with Dwayne Haskins, we talked about his poor athleticism in the pocket, and it kind of forces him to be a pure pocket passer. But it's also a very big weakness because, I mean, he knows that he can't get out the pocket, so he kind of crumbles. He doesn't know what to do. He sees a stunt blitz coming around. He just kind of shakes and doesn't know what to do. He doesn't see anybody open, so he kind of just takes the hit and goes down because there's nothing he can do anyway. I mean, the guy is extremely slow.
Yeah.
I mean, for a guy
he ran like a 508 or 504. That's just
440. Not good.
Hey,
not
freshman year of high school, I ran a 48. Man, that's weird, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But with Dwayne Haskins being that, unathletic, that's definitely a big knock on him because you're going to see a lot of crazy blitzes in the NFL that you never seen in college, and he's not going to be able to get out of that. But as far as the footwork, he has decent footwork. It's just really slow. Yeah. It's just really slow. It's like if you're watching somebody have good footwork, you're just watching somebody have good footwork, but it's in slow motion.
You slow the video down. Yeah, you just slow the video down a little bit. You're like, man, that looks good. I just wish it was faster. You know?
Yeah, it's great. It's just, like, that's something I've seen in the combine. Yeah. Like in the combine, his footwork was so smooth, so fluid. It was just like it took forever. By the time he finished his drop back, I mean the wide receiver was already on his slant.
Exactly. I noticed that. It's very late on his drop steps.
Yeah, that's a big problem I have. He's just very heavy-legged.
If I'm gonna be honest, I think that has to do with the fact that he didn't take a lot in college. A lot of his throws, like I said, they were short. They were quick. He didn't really have to take a big drop step and then unload. He would just could just dink the ball out and go. And this isn't, I'm not, like I say, I'm not trying to knock him for having, you know, for the kind of offense that he unfortunately was under, but I think that a lot has to do with a lot of it as well. Is my personal opinion. I feel like that's a contributor to why he looked a little slow in his drop steps.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. But, yeah. His deep accuracy too.
Yeah.
His deep accuracy, you know, you see all the nice short and intermediate passes. Like, okay, I can get with this. An Ohio State quarterback that might actually be something in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then we see his deep ball, you know, throws, and you're like, what the hell was that?
It's like, are you the same person? Like,
that dude was 10 yards. That ball was 10 yards off.
Yeah, man.
And he just lobbed it out there, you know, and the receivers are like, where'd the ball go?
It's some fan like, hey, I got it.
And you see guys like Paris Campbell out there, like he beats his defenders. He's just, where's the ball? It's not anywhere near me. So it's a big knock on Dwayne Haskins. We've seen it get a little better in the combine. A lot of people are kind of saying,
come on. Don't say he got better. It's the combine.
Yeah, it's the combine. But here's the thing.
No pads.
Yes, I think everybody was just impressed that the ball was near the receiver.
Yeah.
I think that was it. But he overthrew the first guy. The first guy couldn't catch it. It was uncatchable. The second guy, it was underthrown. The receiver had to stop for it.
Yeah.
So you can tell that Dwayne Haskins has been practicing, but he hasn't gotten there yet. As far as his ability to get there, we'll see what happens in the NFL. But it's still a big knock on Dwayne Haskins.
Either way, though, I whether he performed horribly at the combine or whether he performed fantastic, it would not change my mind on him at all. All I care about is the tape in terms of my quarterbacks. So everybody's like, oh, he did so good at the combine. It's like, dude, it's the combine. There's no pads. There's no pressure in your face. It's like going outside and throwing the football. You know, if you can't do that decently sometimes, how are you going to make it in the NFL? And some people are just good are just better in the zone. Like when it's game time, some people are just better than if they were to just go out and practice and throw. And I think Haskins is probably one of those guys, performs better. I don't want to say in pressure, but under the pressure of an actual football game, I think he performs a little better in my personal opinion. So my final thoughts on him are he's got a decently high ceiling. I would be a lot higher on him if almost everything that he was didn't get worse under pressure. You know, like I said, I really value how good a quarterback is under pressure, and it's part of the reasons why I'm lower on Dwayne Haskins than most people are.
Yeah.
Also,
what are your comps for him?
My comp is Kirk Cousins. Actually, I think it was Jameis Winston at a time, but I had one guy get mad at me like, "You're just saying that because they're black," and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I gotta change. Get
all the freaking racist on you.
I was like, "I'm not racist, bro. I swear." I had to wipe it off, you know. But my best tape on Dwayne Haskins is a Michigan tape, and my worst film is his Michigan State. Yeah, you know, I don't know what it is with Michigan, but that guy. So now to number one, and my favorite quarterback in this year's draft class, my favorite player, my draft crush, as I like to call it this year. Last year it was Saquon Barkley. This year it is Kyler Murray. Yeah, me and Bad Dog, we love Kyler Murray, dude. So here it is, Kyler Murray. I love him. He's awesome. I'm gonna go straight. I was gonna let you go with Kyler Murray first, but I can't even. I got to talk about Kyler Murray.
Yeah, take it.
So first things first, his athleticism. I think that's awesome. And I want to say this before I even get into Kyler Murray, is that if you take away how fast he was, you take away his athleticism, I still think he's the best quarterback in this year's class. I don't know if that goes for you, Kid Blue. Definitely goes for me. I think his arm alone makes him the number one quarterback in this year's class. His athleticism on top of that, it just blows my mind. And this is why I love Kyler Murray so much. And before anybody wants to say anything like, oh, we should just get Rosen because he's better than Kyler. No. No. If we were to throw Rosen in this list, Rosen would be number 2 for me ahead of Haskins. I actually think they're fairly similar quarterbacks. I just think Rosen is better in certain areas where it counts, in my personal opinion. And I've said this a few times on one of my older videos, but anybody watching here has probably never seen those. I've said multiple times that if you were to mush this year's draft class and last year's draft class for QBs together, my ranking would go Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and then like Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, and like Dwayne Haskins. That's kind of how my rankings would be, just to give you guys a little perspective on how well I see Kyler Murray. I don't just see him as good, I see him as great. So, like I said, athleticism number 1. His arm talent is just right where you want it to be. He can make any throw on the field. I can't point out a single route that Kyler Murray doesn't throw too well. I can point out a route that I wish I could have seen him throw more, which is the middle of the field post route, a little deep midfield kind of throws. I wish he would have thrown more of those. One thing about Kyler Murray that's just so special is the way he can just take over a game. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to recommend some tape after this that will just show you guys exactly what I mean by just when I say he can just take over a game. His raw talent alone, he can just command so much presence from the defense. He's excellent in the pocket, in a clean pocket, which I will admit he did get a lot of at Oklahoma. They had a phenomenal offensive line this year. Plenty of time. I mean, he was roasting marshmallows in the pocket so many times. You know, the amount of times I saw this guy in there. But the thing is, he can extend the play like no one else. And I don't just mean, and yeah, you know, no, I do mean because of athleticism. The amount of times, go watch his highlights. I don't watch highlight, by the way, guys. I watch tape. But if you watch his highlights specifically, because that's where you'll see the majority of him doing it, the amount of times his offensive line will crumble. And when they do, he's just running around people. And I know that's not going to work as well in the NFL, but it's still going to work to an extent. And the extent it's going to work at, I think, is where he's going to shine. He really knows how to escape the pocket. And when he does, he knows how to buy time with his legs. Russell Wilson-esque, you know. I also think he reads defenses fairly well. Not as good as Dwayne Haskins does, but I do think he's a smart quarterback. I know those rumors came out during the combine said, oh, he was actually really dumb. He tested horribly, but then other people were like, no, he didn't. You know, like, I don't know. This guy just wants attention. You know, he also has great anticipation throws. Great anticipation throws. He throws the ball right on time when you want it to be there. He's got great touch, probably the best touch in the class. He can just, I mean, the way he can drop those balls in the bucket, almost like he's playing basketball. Once again, I said he works great in the pocket. He knows, actually, it's kind of a yes and no for me. He works well in the pocket when he has to move horizontally. He doesn't move vertically in the pocket too well. I do notice sometimes I wish he would step up, but he tries to swing out and run to the hashes instead of stepping up into the pocket. When I think but the reason why I'm not too worried about it is because that's very, very, very coachable. Not something I worry about. Another thing is I love about Kyler Murray, and this is something that I think every quarterback, not just mobile quarterbacks, need, is he knows how to slide. It's that baseball player coming out of him. You know what I mean? He knows how to slide. And he knows when to slide. That's the thing about Kyler Murray. Is like, oh, he's going to be so non-durable. It's like, yeah, if he gets hit from the blind side, any quarterback's going to take a clean hit and just be like, you know, but when he's running the ball, Kyler knows when to slide. He knows when to get out of bounds. He knows when to take a hit. And that's something I like about Kyler Murray. And one of the biggest things I love about Kyler Murray is my final positive strength on Kyler Murray, even though I think there's more, is he demands a QB spy. And he can tire out a defense. In that Alabama game, the first half, they had him beat. They had him dead to rights. In the second half, they were exhausted chasing Kyler Murray around. And this is what I mean by he demands a QB spy. If you do not put a QB spy on Kyler Murray, you will pay for it. And the second you put a QB spy in, guess what you just did? You just lost a defensive lineman to rush at him, or you lost somebody in coverage. I don't think people understand how much forcing a team to have a QB spy can hurt them. That's one less person on defense who basically can help you out because they're so focused on keeping your quarterback in the pocket where you want your quarterback to be. You know, so that's one thing about Kyler Murray I just love is that he demands a QB spy, and I think that's a huge distraction for a team. Just the threat of his legs alone is why I think Kyler Murray is so dangerous. Yeah, I've jerked him off enough. You can go ahead and go now. Or Ben,
I can't wait to see the negatives. I don't think there's
some. There's some.
But Kyler Murray, I watched him on film at first. When I first watched him on film, I have to admit I was impressed. But as far as the NFL level, I wasn't impressed. Like just trying to imagine what he would do in the NFL, especially with the whole 5'9" thing. Is he 5'9"? Is he
5'10"?
Yeah, he's 5'10" now. And to me, that's a big difference. I know a lot of people get mad at me for that, but that's a big difference to me. You know, is he 190 pounds and things like that? My problem was, I'm gonna get to the positive first. Screw that. I'll get to the positive. Let's talk good about Kyler Murray.
Let's hear it.
Okay?
Let's hear it.
Best thrower in this draft. Okay, as soon as I turn on this film. Best thrower in this draft. The ball comes out very smooth. It comes out not too much of a high trajectory. Yeah. It's a straight line throw. You know, not something like a Will Grier. Even though Will Grier is great at throwing, you know, he has too much arch on those throws. Kyler Murray, it's straight line. It's a bullet
great
throws.
Arm strength.
It gets to the receivers very quickly, extremely quickly. I mean, the camera guy in his pro day, the camera guy was struggling to keep up with his balls. I looked at the pro day. I'm like, it's either the camera guy sucks at his job or he just can't keep up with Kyler Murray's throws. Great balls, great arm strength. Can really zip the ball down the field. I mean, for a smaller guy, this guy can really throw down the field and is very accurate in doing so. The athleticism is a big plus. Like I said, like I said in many other videos, if I was playing backyard football, you know, with just a couple friends, you know, like 15 friends or something like that, we're playing some playing some football, Kyler Murray is my first pick. I mean, he's going to be unstoppable in backyard football. I mean, it's insane. College is almost the same way. I mean, it's when you have an athletic quarterback in college, there's really nothing you can't do. And Kyler Murray just bully defense left and right with his arm and with his legs. So very, very, very good prospect in Kyler Murray. Definitely the best quarterback in this draft. Go on to your negatives. I'm kind of excited to hear this.
My negatives? It's like, spoiler, there's none. He's beautiful.
Just asking Bad Dog, what don't you like about Kyler Murray?
It's like Kyler Murray is Jesus in football pads. That's what he is. No, I do have negatives about Kyler Murray. I actually have two negatives that I take seriously, which is that sometimes he'll make one read and he'll just be like,
screw it.
Fuck it. And just throw the ball anyway. He's like, fuck it, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. And he'll just throw that ball. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, why'd you throw that ball? There are other receivers wide open. So I think that's something that's very coachable, is why I don't take that negative so seriously. Also, he can often run with the ball if his first read is not open. So Kyler's problems with me is when he makes that first read. And it's not every time. Sometimes if that first read isn't open, he'll either just throw the ball or he'll just run with it when he could have just gone to his other reads. But that's not super often for me though. You can see him go through his progressions and then be like, okay, nobody's open, let me tuck and run. But there are too many times where I see him make one read and just throw it or run. And that's my problem with Kyler Murray. But that's something I think is very coachable. As you can see, if I've made that weakness on any other quarterback, it's something that, once again, I've said, coachable. That's why it's not a big deal. I think Kyler Murray is the only quarterback in this draft class that I think is a day one starter, but I think he could also very much benefit from sitting. Giants take him. I think he could benefit from sitting for a year. Final thoughts on Kyler's. If you look past the height issue, he has a ton of talent. Taking away his mobility alone, like I said, I still think he's the best quarterback in this class off his arm alone. I think his NFL comp is not a surprise to anybody. It's Russell Wilson. People are like, oh, Russell Wilson's way bigger than he is. Did you see him at his pro day? 205 pounds, looking like a freaking beast at his pro day. I was like, dang, boy. Like, he looked pretty good. I was like, man, he looks pretty thick, at his pro day. So his best film, actually, I'm going to give his worst film first, because I think this is funny. His worst film is Alabama. His best film is Iowa State and Alabama. First half of the Alabama, his worst tape. The second half of the Alabama, wow. But I think that game needs to be watched together to show how special Kyler Murray can be. That's why I think those are some of his best tapes. But the Iowa State game, he just dominated the entire game. It was just Kyler Murray highlight film. That's what it was. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all 5 of the quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, I gotta get to my negatives first for Kyler.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but with Kyler, he's a pretty much a one-read QB type guy, which I can be coached up. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever, but that's definitely something that will stick with him, because he knows in the back of his mind, he's like, I got legs. If this doesn't work out, I'm getting out the pocket. See you later. But in the NFL, just like running backs, Saquon Barkley, that was a big knock on him, bouncing out the pocket. Bouncing out the offensive line, the box is different from running backs. But with quarterbacks, it's almost the same thing. When you get out the pocket, defenses are playing against that. They got spies out there. They got players setting the edge and things like that. It's going to be pretty difficult for him in the NFL. That's something I have a big knock on him. Can he make those NFL-type throws? I haven't seen that yet. Maybe once or twice I've seen that. I haven't seen that yet where he sticks in the pocket and takes the hit and lobs the ball and completes the ball, and it's a completion from there. Another knock I have on him is, under pressure, kind of similar to what I just said, but under pressure, he just runs with it. As far as, with his offensive line, he's kind of spoiled in having that offensive line 5 to 6 seconds to throw. I was counting constantly 5 to 6 seconds to throw. The dude, literally, you weren't able to see how good his footwork is. You weren't able to see how good his footwork is because he didn't need to use his footwork.
You're just chilling.
He hikes the ball and just literally sits there like, you gonna get open? No? You good? Good? I got time.
He's like, hey, just keep running. I got time. Just keep running.
Time here. So I'm like, that's how he runs. I want to see him in the NFL behind a terrible offensive line. What is he going to do?
That's a weird thing to say. I want to see him behind a terrible offensive line. That's a weird thing to say.
It's just a test. It's just a test. Yeah. If he's behind the Giants offensive line, of course, I don't want to see that. But if he's behind any offensive line, like if he gets drafted to the Cardinals, I'm going to be very interested of how he's going to react to that offensive line, and because it's going to be totally new for him. He's like, this isn't Cody Ford, this isn't you.
Yeah.
This is Cody Ford.
He's like, Cody, where are you? He's like, Cody.
You see all these guys coming around. Is he going to stick in there and make that throw? I'm very anxious to see that. PFF rates him as a very good under pressure quarterback because he's able to get out the pocket. But to me, he's not very good when he sees those guys coming at him. He doesn't know what to do. He's already been touched. He doesn't really know what to do from there. That to me is a little washed down a little bit, that PFF score. But as far as that goes, Kyler Murray, a lot of people hate on me because I didn't like Kyler Murray in the beginning, but you guys have convinced me. I watched a lot more film, and I was like, listen, his measurables came out. He added on 12 pounds. He's right. He's almost there to Russell Wilson. So I like Kyler Murray. I really think he's gonna succeed in the NFL. He has some stuff to touch up on. Like you said, he's a day one starter, but it would benefit if he sat back for a little bit. Like a Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes, a lot of people thought he was a day one starter, but I think he really benefited.
Yeah, I think he highly benefited from that.
I mean, the guy's an absolute monster now. I think Kyler Murray would be the same way. My NFL comp for him will obviously be Russell Wilson. As far as his
it's like Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, as far as his passing ability there, but I think his athleticism and moving around and things like that is more like a Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel in college, when he was able to scramble and kind of run to the left and run to the right and just get defenses tired. Johnny Manziel in college was just like that. I mean, he would totally get that defensive line just on their knees, gasping for air constantly, because he would just like, oh, now you see me, now you don't type of thing.
Now you don't.
Yeah.
You want to see me run to the sideline and back? Want to see me do it again?
Russell Wilson was just like, I'm gonna just get out the pocket and run. But Kyler Murray is kind of like, I'm going right, I'm going left, going right again, then I'm gonna run. He's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But definitely like a Russell Wilson, especially that he added onto the weight now. But yeah, love Kyler Murray. But that's our top 5, guys. I'm very anxious to see the comment section is always going to disagree with you.
I'm so excited for the comment section. I'm so excited.
They're like, why isn't Tyree Jackson in the top 5?
Someone's gonna be like, you're sleeping on Drew Lock. You're sleeping on Drew Lock. It's like, I don't think so.
You're going to get that, man.
It's like, what, just for that, Ryan Finley at 5. Get out of my face.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But that's our top 5, guys. Like I said, guys, in the beginning, I think I said this in the beginning, but the next top 5 will be on Jzach and the Redzone's channel. I'm going to put the link in the comment section below. Make sure you guys subscribe to me. He has some great content, fantastic content.
Who, me?
Yeah. And it's definitely, as he progresses, it's just going to get better, as it is with any other Giants YouTubers. So, any other YouTuber, not just Giants YouTubers. Shout out to the Giants YouTubers. But anyway, any other YouTubers. But like I said, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Whatever's next, you guys determine who's going to be next, what position is going to be next. Like I said, like the comment that you guys agree with. I think
what we'll do is everybody comment what position you want to be, edge rushers, corners, and then what we'll do is whatever comment has the most likes after the first day it was uploaded, I think we'll go ahead and do that position. And I guess you can, on your community tab, you can put what position, or if you want, we can just do a poll. If we have anybody who ties, we can have a poll. We'll do something like that for the next position, and then we'll put that one next on my channel. I think you said, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be it's gonna alternate. My channel, his channel, my channel, until we're pretty much done, and then the draft. The draft. But that's all for today, guys. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys subscribe to Jzach in the Red Zone. Make sure you leave a comment, please. We want to hear what you guys have to say, whether it's hate, whether it's love. It doesn't matter. And until next time, see you guys in the next video.